So we need to solve a quadratic equation that will not be using factoring. And the hint we have, it says to give our answer to correct the 2 decimal places. That means that our answer will not be a whole number, so factoring will not work with this particular equation. The quadratic formula is given to you. I believe you need to memorize this for the exam. So it's wise to memorize this. Notice you'll see A, B, and C. When the equation is arranged, or the quadratic is arranged in a way that the x squared x and then the number, the coefficient of x squared is considered A, so A is 5. The coefficient of the x value is -7, so B is -7, and then the number that stands alone is C, which would be -13. Using this formula, we will place these values exactly as we see them in the formula. Use brackets to be safe. -7 is in brackets, -7 is in brackets, the 5 is in bracket, the -13 is in bracket, and the 5 is in bracket. If you use it without brackets, you're going to run into problems. Don't do that. So the minus, when you put a minus in front of a minus, that's like multiplying a negative times a negative, you're going to get a +7. This symbol means plus or minus is going to give us 2 values. At some point we're going to add, and then at some point we're going to subtract. So eventually we're going to get 2 different answers. -7 is raised to the power of 2. All of this can go into your calculator real nice. It's not going to give you a lot of trouble. But a negative times a negative will give you a +49. Now, what happens when you're done with this? You should never end up with a negative number under this radical symbol, because you cannot take the square root of a negative number. So if you ever end up with a negative value under this radical symbol, go back and take your time and see what your mistake is. So we have the -4 because there's a -4 always going to be there. And then the 5 times the -13. So when this -4 multiplies this -13, you can end up with a positive value. And that's why this is going to be a positive. So 4 times 5 times 13 is going to give you 260. Added to the 49 gives you 309. So what does this mean? This means that x is going to be 7 plus the square root of 309 and then divided by 10, or 7 minus the square root of 309 and then divided by 10. Use your calculator for this. You should be able to put this in your calculator real nice. Just remember, work out the numerator first and then divide by 10. Work out the numerator and then divide by 10. Don't go if you put the division after this, it's only this last portion will be divided by 10. Be very careful. So work out the numerator, write it down, then divide it by 10, and you'll have your answer. Work out the numerator, write it down, and then divide by 10. So the 2 answers you will get will be 2.46 and -106. That's -1.06.